serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Right, we're back for part 2 of You Cannot Be Serious. The duck is somewhere in the world, and I'm up here at Lee Creek. I don't know why they call it Lee Creek. I haven't been able to find a creek up here, but I'm sure it is somewhere, unless it's dried up, which is like my good self. Now, Duck, before I get on...
Before we get on, can you beat on a hot day? We've had Mr. Whippy driving around, which we all love Mr. Whippy when he's got the little song going and we all run out. You can't beat a Zooper Duper on a hot day.
Mr. Whippy committed suicide. He topped himself with sprinkles. Now, Duck.
Oi, do you like Zooper Dupers?
What?
You like a Zooper Duper?
What is it?
Basically, a Zooper Duper.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows what a Zooper Duper is, isn't it?
Mate, if you just tuned in, welcome to Play School of the Airwaves. What is this?
It's an icy pole. It's one of the best icy poles you can get.
I haven't had an icy pole since the late 80s, I reckon.
Well, mate, enjoy life a little bit, Sam. Instead of worrying about wind turbines, welcome to country, all of these things that put just a bit of happiness in your life. Have a Zooper Duper.
Oh, right. Well, I'm not sure they got them in Lee Creek.
They will have them, I guarantee you.
Before I get on to 3 sports that I know you don't consider as sports, that is the MotoGP, the Formula One Grand Prix and Bathurst. I know you don't consider any of those people who are in those sports as athletes or sportsmen or sports people. Give us your rundown on the NRL. I notice the coach, Craig Bellamy, said we didn't learn from last year and couldn't negate someone. I couldn't remember his name. And I thought, well, that's unusual. That's what a coach probably should do, try and work out how to negate someone, shouldn't he?
Oh, well, sometimes someone's just far too good. And on the day, a guy by the name of Reece Walsh, who's probably, people are comparing him to Bailey Smith, but Bailey's had a very good year this year. He's finished 3rd or 2nd in Geelong's BNF. This bloke, Reece Walsh, is an absolute superstar, Sam. And Melbourne Storm, take nothing away. That rugby league grand final is one of the best grand finals I've ever seen.
Yeah, I watched it.
I'll tell you why, is because they threw the ball around, Sam. They threw it from side to side. They ran the footy. Reece Walsh not only set up 2 or 3 tries, he was unbelievable. He stopped 2 or 3 certain tries. He was a tackle in the last 15 seconds of the game, which saved the game. Melbourne would have scored under the post. They would have converted that try and won by 2 points. He was unbelievable, Reece Walsh. Won the Clive Churchill medal. Absolute superstar. You take nothing away from Melbourne. They did what they did, but they got absolutely slaughtered in the second half. Brisbane have made a habit of that in the second part of the year. They've come from behind, fitter, stronger this year. And you know what? As much as I hate to say it, the better side won. But it did come down to one man. And if Brisbane didn't have Reece Walsh, they don't win.
Well, so why didn't they try and isolate him?
Well, unlike AFL, Sam, you can't play man on man because you got offside and you got onside, and they run at one another. But every time he got the ball, Reece, he made something happen. He broke lines. He created tries. He stopped tries. He was just. He's a fullback, by the way, in case you didn't know what position he plays. But so he plays the same position as what Billy Slater used to play for Melbourne, if you're a bit of a novice in terms of rugby league. But this bloke is, you know what, he's almost like Billy Slater on steroids.
Is he?
Yes, he's just... And that's
well done. Well, thanks for clearing that up, Duck. I wasn't quite aware of it.
But I want to clear up. I'm not saying Reece Walsh is on steroids. I'm saying he's a hyped-up, stronger... maybe probably quicker version of Billy Slater. Now, Billy Slater has a much decorated career, one of the greats. But this bloke, if he keeps going on the way he's going, he might go down as the best fullback we've ever.
He might surpass him, Duck.
He might surpass him. He's that good, this bloke. And
Do you think if he does surpass him, he'll get a gig on the horse interviewing people at the Melbourne Cup like Billy Gard does?
well, Billy got that. Sorry, I'm just having a bit more Zupa Duper.
Yeah, no
Billy,
good.
Billy, Billy does that because Billy used to be a jockey before he played rugby league.
Yeah. What, on a draft horse?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. But Billy, the fullbacks aren't big guys. Well, not certainly not
No.
these two. Billy Slater's not a big guy.
They're the
So they're
organisers.
unbelievably quick, agile,
Awesome.
tough, hard, good under the high ball. But this Walsh kid, he is just like I said, he is just super fast. Now, what I meant by Billy Slater on steroids, I'm not saying Walsh is on steroids, by the way. I'm saying
No, I know that.
it's
You've
like,
said that
it is
twice
like
now.
he is. He is just.
I might say he's on steroids. He looked like he was on steroids.
He was unbelievable. So, all in all, it was one of the most
Did you see the start?
Yes, I did. Free flowing grand final. Did I see the start?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Well, how did that go over?
I didn't choose to watch the.
Of course, well done. And what about Billy Swims or someone swims at the end of half time?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Ted Swims.
Swimsy.
Yeah, Swimsy. Do you know why he's called Swims? No, this is true.
Why?
Because it's an acronym. Someone with someone who I most it's someone. S is someone with most. What's that?
Someone who isn't me sometimes.
Someone who isn't me sometimes. That's why he's called Swims.
Who isn't me sometimes? Oh, okay.
Anyhow, I saw a bit of him at halftime. I didn't mind his a couple of his jingles.
Well, I like the. I think it was. Oh no, that was the rugby union entertainment. I got mixed up. I saw it. I just saw it on Twitter. I didn't. I literally tuned into the rugby league grand final right when they kicked the ball. When they kicked the ball to start the
After
game.
the welcome to country.
So it was. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, they did that. Okay.
Now, so I'm glad you cleared that up, Duck. I wasn't sure why they couldn't contain that very good boy that you're talking about. But it's not like AFL. You can't put someone on him.
Correct. You can, but you're still, you've got to know. I guess you got to know who's and what they're. He was just, what he was good the week before. He was good in the prelim, but I tell you what, he was even better.
Strong and all as the AFL is, the rugby league outrated the AFL. The rugby league grand final outrated the AFL grand final.
By how much?
By quite a bit.
Yeah, I tell you, well, and that's why people are pushing for the AFL to have the grand final on at night, Sam, or late or a twilight game, because it is easier and it is, I guess, it's time when people sit down in front of the TV and watch a game of sport rather than the middle of the day.
Well, believe it or not, Duck, I think they're angling now to have the NRL grand final in the afternoon, back to an afternoon grand final.
Yes, because I heard the Philandes
analogy.
Speak. Yeah, I heard him speak about the fact that they trialled afternoon football and they were very happy with how that went in rugby league this year. But you wouldn't, given the viewership of, like I said, they don't get as many people to their games, obviously. So we get bigger crowds, but they because I think it's a night game at twilight. Well, it is a night game, not a twilight game. I think that's why they get the more views.
Duck, would you have rather played your grand finals at North Melbourne when you were just the only man vaguely on the park because everyone was down in one end of the game and you were up the other end just winning it on your own? Would you have rather been played at night or in the afternoon?
Well, given that we were I guess the first team to play multiple games every year at night. In 1998, Sam, when we got beaten, I sort of put that down to the fact that we'd played 13 night games or so. It was 7 or 8 in a row leading into the grand final, which was then a day game and it was 24 degrees. So if you ask me, given that I played so much night footy in comparison, like our team in particular, I would love a night grand final. I would have loved a night grand final, but I'm also a traditionalist. But I think I'm actually now leaning towards pushing it towards night because of the entertainment, the lights, the shows that you can put on. And I know that our game is the show, but there's just so much more that you can do with the game of a night. And I think more people sit down and watch it, would watch it on a Saturday night rather than during the day.
And it'd be more convenient for you because as soon as the bell rang, maybe at 10:30, you could immediately, still in your football gear, with the open neck trousers, wander down to the venues and the nightclubs in the gear and just go right through till Monday morning.
Well, that's a very good point you make. You've got
Yeah.
to.
Wouldn't even have to go home and freshen up. Just go straight off the ground down to the venues.
Straight in. That's right. Yeah, I'm with you. Now, what? Now, so the rugby league, so huge success. I think they did an unbelievable job. I loved everything. I loved the game was a great spectacle, fantastic game. Could not have got a better game to showpiece the great game of rugby league. There are games just like the AFL. There are boring games and there are defensive games and stop, start, run into one another. But they threw it. They just threw it around. They threw it from side to side.
Reckless abandon, Duck.
It was absolutely brilliant. Now, get on to our sport that
trades.
We're meant to know a little bit. I tell you what's becoming very evident, and as you very smart as Sam, brought up only 3 or 4 weeks ago when you said that we think equalisation is working in the AFL, yet we only have 4 clubs that have featured in, and you can throw Sydney 5 clubs, and that was Collingwood, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Geelong, and I think you can throw in Sydney. You can throw in Sydney into that group. They have dominated the last 20 years, those clubs.
Yes.
In terms of finals performances, grand finals, etc., etc., etc. And yet we talk about equalisation. Now we're looking at the draft and we're looking at destination clubs. No one wants to go to North Melbourne. Everyone wants out of Melbourne. Melbourne is sacking players. Melbourne have now got rid of Petrarca. They've said to Stephen May, no longer required. Oliver's about to get traded to somewhere else. They're their 3 best. If Mac's gone, and those 3 are their 4 best players of the last 8 years.
They've got a new president though. What's his name?
I'll tell you what, the coach is off to a flyer. Big Kingy. Hey, Big Kingy, yeah. Geelong boy. He's killing it there. Everyone's jumping ship. He's sacking everyone. And I don't know what's going on. North Melbourne have got their captain, Jai Simpkin, who looked for a trade. And I do want to say this because I haven't commented on Twitter because I don't like to, because people think that you're too emotionally attached. I can guarantee you I'm not emotionally attached. But it is quite embarrassing when you're the captain of a football club and you go out there and say that you're more than and you've got a massive contract of which I don't think you're playing to that level, and you've still got 3 or 4 years to run on that contract, and you go looking for a new home and no one is looking for you. And then you have to go back to the club of which you're the captain of with your tail between your legs and say, well, no one wanted me, but North Melbourne are paying him, I believe, upwards of $800,000 to $900,000 a year, and no one else wanted him. I mean, you talk about destination clubs. Melbourne, they're jumping ship and they're sacking them. North Melbourne, no one wants to go to, and plus their captain wants out. And then you've got clubs like the Cats, the Hawks, and can you believe it? The Suns have become all of a sudden a destination club, given their rise this year into the finals, and also because of, I guess, lifestyle.
Duck.
Yes, and if you want to get away from the limelight of Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth, and these, fanatical states and cities that love footy and just go and sit up on the Gold Coast and go unnoticed and do your best work, but play footies on the weekend, then I think that's what's attracting these guys, especially if they've had some time already in the sun, so to speak.
Yes. I was captain of Geelong when I was asked to go to Richmond, when they tried to get me to go to Richmond. And because my business selling hairdressing products was up in Melbourne. And it was a bit taxing driving down 6 nights a week to training and getting injuries. So I tried to leave Geelong, but they
Well,
wouldn't give me a clearance, and
it's,
Richmond said
it's
they'd pay me
but
to
Sam,
stand out.
that's a very good point, and I've heard you've told me that before, and of course, when you're a great player, you're always going to be poached. But isn't it interesting that one, you had a choice because you're out of contract, that you were like you said, you were knocking around all the hairdressers, so you're knocking it, selling hair
I
products
wasn't
everywhere,
knocking them
waving.
up. I was knocking
No, I meant
around. That was my
knocking
job.
around and selling
Yes.
stuff. Yes, correct. I Isn't it funny though? Because at North Melbourne, I once I'd signed on, they never let my contract go below 2 years. Now that's when a contract was a contract. Now these players are signing for 5 years and then playing one and then saying I want out, or the
Yeah.
club saying we can get rid of you. The contract's not worth the paper it's written on. That
No.
it has to change. Once upon a time, the clubs had too much power. Now the player has too much power, and
So I
I think
presume the new coach of Melbourne, Mr. King, he's
yes.
gone reverse psychology. If you don't want to play for us, go. Uh, on the other hand, some clubs might say, no, you've got a contract. If you don't want to play for us, you're going nowhere. So make up your mind. You better step to the plate, or your career is virtually over.
Well, that's what Essendon find themselves in that hemisphere, because they've got their captain and six-time best and fairest winner Zach Merritt, who apparently is looking, well, not apparently, has had meetings with Hawthorn, and Essendon can match that offer if Hawthorn can come in with a massive offer and Essendon can match it, and therefore I don't know. I think he's on non. No, he might be a restricted. No, non. I don't know. I don't know whether that. I might be factually incorrect
So
there,
does
but
Essendon have to match Hawthorn's offer? Isn't Zach Merritt on a contract?
I think I read that somewhere. He might be an unrestricted free agent, which means he can go anyway.
Oh,
So there's restricted and unrestricted. I'm just not sure where Zach fits into that area, but he's another captain looking. Oscar Allen from West Coast. He's going to Brisbane apparently. So there's captains everywhere, jumping ship. It's just contracts are just. There's no point them signing them anymore because they're not worth anything, and that's from both sides. Clubs are getting rid of players that have got contracts, and players are telling clubs they don't want to play for them anymore that have contracts.
so in the end, the equalisation system was set up so the big clubs didn't get stronger and the little clubs get weaker. It's just going to revert to exactly that. If you can go where you like and break your contracts, those with the money and the lifestyle will reap the benefits, and the others will just stay down the bottom where they've been for a long time.
Spot on. And the Hawks, like I said, the
But
Cats
why do they
always
let that happen?
have been a destination club. Yeah, no, I agree. The Pies, obviously, always a destination club because of their supporter base and what a great club they are. And now, like I said, the Suns, I think, simply because of lifestyle, and they know that they're a very, very good team. Petrarca goes into that team, and they come straight into, I think, with another key forward, another good forward. I think they come into premiership calculations, the Suns.
Yes, let's see if we can keep talking about AFL football the whole year, because that'll be fantastic, I
No,
reckon.
we're just doing it because we have the trade period right now. It's quite interesting because players, are, like I said, they're
Is
bobbing
that
up
good
here and there
viewing?
and everywhere. Hey,
Is that good viewing, the trade period,
I
sitting,
I
watching
I
people at
like
desks?
I like the fact. Oh, while we're on, let's get into a bit of scuttlebutt because we spoke about journos before getting into trouble, and I I haven't read whether Peter Dacos has had a chance to come back at this, but apparently, so the other night, Jack McRae, while he was giving his speech at the Collingwood Best and Fairest night, he had a bit of a dig at the AFL. Josh Dacos, he said maybe Nick. He said maybe Nick, if you had a few more 16 possession games, you might have won the Brownlow. So a little bit of a dig at the system. Guess what? Nick didn't even win the Best and Fairest at Collingwood.
No.
So he had a dig.
And no, you just said Bailey Smith came third in the Best and Fairest at Geelong. You said he was a world beater.
No, I said he had a very good year. I said he's no Reece Walsh.
Oh, I thought
In
you
terms
said he
of
was the Reece
comparison,
Walsh. He was the Reece Walsh.
They're very similar in their flamboyance. Both good-looking boys, and they're both flamboyant. And they like to do things a little bit differently, which I like. But no. So anyway, let me get to my point. So
Yes.
the great Peter Dacos, apparently, which was reported by a journo, stormed out of the Best and Fairest night, took his tie off and left. That's what the report said. They said Peter stormed out, and someone said, "Well, did he know the result? Did he know that his son was going to run second, or why did he?" So that has been reported. Now I'm not sure whether it's accurate reporting.
Maybe he just got up to go to the lavatory.
Maybe he just needed, as long as he wasn't filmed, he can go to the lavatory whenever he wants.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, but it was made out he stormed out. And
stormed out.
Yes, he stormed out. But everyone's now getting into McRae saying, well, you've had a go at the Brownlow people, and then he couldn't even win the Best and Fairest at your club, and you wouldn't believe it, a ruckman beat him. Darcy Cameron won the Best and Fairest.
Darcy
didn't make the All-Australian team.
Oh, who picks that?
Who picks what?
The All-Australian team.
Oh, well, there's a number of people that are on the. We've said that, right. But I'm just saying Darcy Cameron wasn't in the All-Australian team, and he won Collingwood's Best and Fairest.
Two very big sporting events that are coming up. Three very big. Well, two that have just coming up, and one that's just been by people you don't consider sportsmen. But the first is Bathurst.
Don't say that, because I did say they are sportsmen. I did say though that if no matter how good a sports person they were in their particular sport, and I'm talking about car racing and also being a jockey, you are somewhat in reliance or reliant on your either vehicle or thing that you're on the back of, which is a horse.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you didn't have the right vehicle, you know that. So
well, if Bathurst, you're not winning, you're not winning Bathurst in a mini minor, are you?
What's that?
You're not winning Bathurst in a mini minor, are you?
No, but they're all the same sort of cars, and they're all got V8s in them. They're all.
Sam, I'm just being facetious, trying to make a point here. And
I know the point. I've tried to make this
point before, and you keep being smart ass Sam, and coming back to you smart as Sam, and you keep coming back to that I think they're not athletes. That's not true at all. I think they're great athletes.
Well, you said it was the car. So what about the Grand Prix in Singapore wasn't won by someone with the fastest car this time. It was won by George Russell. And then
was there a lot of crashes? Was there?
No, there were no crashes.
Okay, so.
And then Oscar Piastri came fourth, and Lando Norris came third, and Max Verstappen came second.
So every now and then you have an outlier, and
I see. So I thought you said it was the cars.
Well, in general, I think generally if you have the fastest car. And I know there's only small differences, and the drivers they are great athletes. And
Well, then it'd be
and
the driver if there were small differences.
Do you remember one? There used to be a TV show. I don't know what it was called, so I probably shouldn't have brought it up. But it was a TV show where they got all the athletes. They got I think it might have been who was the V8 driver?
Who was the V8 driver? Peter Brock?
No. It was after Brocky, but there was a V8 driver that was
Winterbottom? Frosty?
No, it was before him.
Craig Lowndes?
I reckon it was Lounsey. I reckon it might have been Craig Lowndes. I reckon it was. You had Lounsey, you had Billy Slater, Slats. You had
Lounsey.
You had a few. There were AFL players. There were athletes. There were and you know who did best. I reckon Lounsey did very, very well, as did Billy Slater, because they talk about that they're more of an anaerobic capacity, but he killed it.
Anaerobic.
I think he might have won
aerobic.
I think he might have won the. No, they say rugby league's more anaerobic. I said, but I think he might have won this fitness comp, and I reckon Lounsey might have come second. Just for memory. Someone will let us know whether I'm right or wrong, but they are great athletes, but they are determined. I'm talking about the car, Formula One and V8s, and Oscar and Supercar and whatever else car, and just like jockeys, they make a difference. They do make a difference to the car, but they do need a fast car still.
Yeah, and Australia has been robbed of a great spectacle down at Phillip Island this weekend, with Marc Marquez being bundled out of the last MotoGP, and he's going to miss the next two MotoGPs because he's injured and he's in hospital. So that'll be a dampener on the day out here in Australia, Melbourne.
Yeah, when that's in the next. When's that? Couple of weeks.
It's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's this weekend, isn't it?
Is it this weekend?
I think so.
Well, it's only,
Sue's just looking up this. Sue's looking up this
information.
information.
It's only Wednesday, so you know.
No, I wouldn't. It probably wouldn't be because Bathurst's on this weekend, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about the MotoGP.
Marc MotoGP. Yes, no,
rides a motorbike.
Yes, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Do you think he's an athlete?
Yes, but he's a better athlete if he's on a quicker bike.
Well, he was on a Repsol last year and still won his seventh World Championship. Now he's on a different bike and he's won the championship again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's the outlier.
Well, Duck, now look, it's been any other sporting information or anything. I notice the Victorian government have just legislated that that every employer has to give their staff 2 days off working at home. They've legislated that. They don't leave it up to the business to say if you can work at home. The government have legislated that.
Well, hang on. As of when?
As of just been passed.
Just been passed.
Or it's before Parliament.
Well, that's sort of what Parliament. To be honest, as the world, the world probably has, but Victoria certainly hasn't. Have we got back to going back to work 5 days a week like people once did, going into the city 5 days a week? I think
not at all. That's why it is a ghost town, because the government are ambivalent. They are disinterested in what is in the best interests of the general public. And I'll tell you who's coming out here. Did I mention this, or did I do this off air? Did you know the ex-Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, the most unworthy, dopey woman ever to be in world politics, any politics?
She's coming.
She is.
I like Kamala. Is it Kamala? Camila. Kamala.
No, it's chameleon. She is an absolute dud. She's a dud. She's a fraud. And she's coming out. She's a cackling hyena. A cackling hyena.
Oh, you're just copying your you're just copying your boyfriend, Donald Trump, by
She
saying
never
that.
got a vote for vice presidency. She never got a vote in the Democrat caucus. She was first out in the ballot to see who would be Joe Biden's running mate, and yet she was just DEI. She's a black female, and that's why they gave her the job. And she is an absolute unworthy clown.
I do. I'm fairly well read on Kamala, and I actually like her. What I didn't
What
like
what
about her
what do you like
no,
about her?
I didn't think she did a. I thought she got thrown in. She's vice president. She got thrown in the deep end, Sam. I don't think she.
Got thrown in there.
I
She never
I
made
will say,
one.
I will say the thing that I didn't like about her was when she was the boss, the prosecutor, LA. Am I
Yes,
right?
like in California.
California, yes. The head, whatever role that's called. What's that called? What was she?
Attorney
Before she was
General.
Attorney General. Well, I didn't like the fact that there was some iffy jail sentences given out, which she didn't back in the day, which I read about and I didn't
Yep,
particularly like, and she didn't look at it. And yeah, there's
that's
some
right, because she was
there's
compromised and corrupt and just went along
yeah,
with what
I'd
gave
argue
her what?
I'd argue it's part of the course. Well, it certainly is over there.
She is the most you talk about a word salad. She puts a whole lot of one syllable words together and jumbles them into a sentence, and you can
I
never
don't
understand what the fuck she's talking about.
I
She
don't
is
think
a
too many politicians can lie straight in bed, Sam.
Well, not the well, the man running the country at the minute over there. What a star he is! How good is that man? He's made them the strongest, most patriotic, feared nation in the world. He's trying to bring peace to the Middle East. He's come
Does
up
he
with a
know?
peace.
Does he know that you're his biggest fan?
Well, I'm just one of millions.
No,
Don't
but does he
forget,
know? Does he know that you're? You now that the tragedy that happened about a month ago now with Kirk,
Charlie
um,
Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, yes, and I've noticed there's still some terrible stuff being said about that
Yeah,
young
why
man.
hasn't
And
anyone
I
shot any of
no,
the
but I
leaders
just
of the
want to
Democrats?
I just want to say I reckon you behind Charlie Kirk would be Donald Trump's biggest fan.
And 77 million people who voted for him last election.
Well,
Why would that
when you
be?
well, if you're a very good debater, you might have to start having a bulletproof caravan when you travel around to these places.
Well, this is my point. Why hasn't anyone shot any of the Democrat wankers that keep slagging off at the Republicans?
Do
Because
you get
they're
nervous? Do you get nervous about having being such a big fan?
of Trump. Yeah,
Yeah,
what? Hide in your own. What? Just hide in your own sort of
I
town.
reckon. I reckon you're that big a fan of Donald Trump that
Yes.
you might be killing whales and birds as well.
No.
I like that. I just made that up on the spot. That gag.
I know. Yeah, you make most of the shit you talk about up on the spot, Duck. Uh, Duck. It's been very enjoyable. You've given us your rundown on a whole lot of things. Any other final announcements? How is the state? I'm not in the state that you're in at the minute.
No,
I'm in the capital S state.
yeah, no, I will be. I'll be back. How long are you on the road for, though? How long are you on the road? Because I might send
Oh,
some. I might send some kids around to your factory.
yeah. We've got cameras. We've got a lot of security. A lot of security there, Doug. Anyhow, we from just from the grand final morning podcast. I've had a couple of agents come in, investigative. They're still looking for the odd bottle of champagne that could have possibly been left there. after we got the bill, Sue was going through the account. She said, "Did you know we got 36 bottles of Krug champagne from a winery?" I said, 36. I said, "Well, I've never seen one of them. Apparently, they found a half drunk one in the corner over where a computer was." And I said, "Well, probably it's gone off by now. We didn't find any others. Did you have got any?"
I've
Hey,
actually my fridge is full.
burgeoning, burgeoning. They
Mine's
said
been-
your refrigerator, your deep freeze looks like a slaughterhouse. There's more sides of beef and
I had to
pork
buy-
and hogs hanging
I
up
had
in
to
it.
go. I had to go and buy a new freezer the next day to put all.
Oh dear. So anyhow, I've had a very good weekend. James
Good
Brayshaw
stuff.
and his wife Lisa, and Gary Lyon and his fiancée Nikki. They came over to Adelaide to because they knew I wouldn't be home by the end of the year, and they're all going away at the end of the year. And they came over to wish me well, and we had a fantastic weekend of
Oh, where'd you do that? Where'd you do
What?
that? Where'd you
In
do
Adelaide? Adelaide went up
In
to a
Adelaide?
winery. Here's an interesting thing,
that?
Duck.
Which
If you
winery did you
point
go to? Is Nikki? What's Nikki's last? Nikki, is she a lion now, or is she still brownless?
Brownless, yeah, Nikki Brownless.
She's still
They
Nikki
get on.
Brownless.
Yes, they get on well, all of them.
No, I'm just.
All has been forgiven. Everything's
Oh,
okay.
I don't think. It's never forgiven, Sam. We know that.
Anyhow,
So
we got
which winery did you go to?
the Barossa. One of the it was called the Vintner. It was a went up to a very famous Vintner restaurant up in the
Who
Barossa.
shouted? I'll tell you what, JB
That was-
wouldn't have.
What?
Who shouted?
What you say, Duck? Oh,
Who
who shouted?
shouted?
No, we insisted that we all go a thirds. That was just that's the way it should be. And we got in this van, this beautiful van, but much
So did
like the one you've got, a
did you
Mercedes
say Billy?
people mover.
Who'd you say? Billy, Gary, and JB.
No, Billy wasn't there. Christ. James
okay.
and Gary and me
Oh,
and Sue and Lisa and
Billy
Nikki.
if Billy was there, you would have had some fun.
Billy was over. Billy was at the Singapore Grand Prix.
Well, it hasn't run yet, or raced yet. But yes.
It has what was raced on the weekend, Duck.
Oh,
Please.
sorry. Sorry.
Jesus H. Christ. He was over there, I think, with his girlfriend Crystal.
Oh, no, you should have invited them to the Barossa.
He goes out with a girl called Crystal. I don't think her second name's Meth, but I think it's just Crystal.
Oh, sure. All right.
Anyhow, we got in a van. Have a listen to this. We got in a van, a black people mover, and this man who was, he was probably of Middle Eastern appearance, a very charming young man. And we drove round. It's a 20-minute trip. Took us an hour and a half to get there. And someone said, "Has anyone put the directions in the GPS?" And we were just driving around. So that's how well that night, that afternoon went. And I said, "Well, give us the address and we'll put it in." We were about 20k away from where we were meant to be. We were late for lunch because the man, wouldn't you think if you were a driver, you'd plug that into your GPS?
You would have.
Maybe he was overawed by the fact that
Who
he was
paid for the
carrying.
van? Who paid for the van?
Oh, Jesus, have I been crook too? I'm out of a sick bed just to do this. I tell you what,
That's
I've been
good.
so
That's
crook.
good. Well, that's
Anyhow,
good.
Duck,
Well,
it's great
all
to
right.
speak to you. You cannot be serious, and it's Wednesday today. So, anything else coming up? What are you doing?
No. I was just saying thank you for saying checking in. Good to see that you're okay. Good to see that. Very glad to hear you had a beautiful lunch at the Barossa, even though you were late. And we'll check in again next week.
Good on you, Duck, man.